Alright, you're going to take your chipboard and you're going to cut 2 pieces 3 by 2 5/8, 2 pieces 3 by 1/2 inch, 1 piece 1 by 3 inches, 4 2 5/8 by 1/2 inch, and then you're going to get your craft colored cardstock and your die. I'm using Vintage Valise, and you're going to cut 4 corner pieces, which mine look like this. You're going to cut 5 straps, four strap holders, and 2 handles. Then you're going to get your embossing folder and you're going to emboss them to put texture on them. After you've done that, you want to grab your ink and you want to ink them. Get them all covered in ink, and don't forget to do both sides of your handle. And on your strap, choose one that you want for a strap, and you want to ink both sides. After you're done inking, I like to use a little black just to make it more highlighted, the embossing. After you're done inking, if you want to, you can use something to make them shiny. I am using Distress Crackle Paint. It's by Ranger. And just kind of put a glaze over them. You want to do that to all of your pieces. Don't forget to do both sides of your handle and both sides of your strap. Then you want to set those aside to dry. And next you're going to make hinges. So you want to grab your cream colored cardstock and your scoreboard. And I score mine at 3/8 of an inch. Then I grab my cutter and I cut it about 1/2 an inch. And I do that twice because I usually need about 2 of them. Then I take one of them and I bend on the score line. Then I flatten it back out and I grab my double-sided tape and I put it right on the heel side of the score mark. And those are going to be for inside hinges in a little while. Okay, and then I grab my other one and I get it folded. Make sure I got a good bend in it. And then I take my chipboard and I put score tape around all sides. And I want to remember that one side goes along the spine, so I usually just kind of mark it. And then I want to grab one of my 3 by 1/2 inch pieces and 2 of my 2 5/8 by 1/2 inch. And I want to take my hinge and my score tape. Alright, and then you put score tape along the edge of your little strips there, your chipboard strips. And you want to do that to both of these and all 4 of these. Peel that off. You're going to take your hinge, you're going to just tuck it right in there, matching it up. Then press down real good. Usually I just turn mine around instead of cutting them each. And you're going to do the same thing, lining it up. Making sure it's stuck down good. Then you want to grab your scissors, trim it off, and your other side. After you do that to all of your pieces for each side, you're going to want to connect them. So you're going to take your smaller one, and usually I try to let this piece sit on top of my little chipboard strip, and then you want to just stick it down real good. Then I'm going to do my bottom one, which I already have ready. Let me get my tape up. And I'm going to let it sit kind of right on top of that piece and stick it down. Alright, and now your piece should look like this. And that side's going to be for my spine. Okay, you're going to take this final piece off. Usually I just grab a little glue. Put a little glue. And you're going to let this piece, whoops, almost put it on wrong, sit right on top too. So make sure it's even and then stick it down. Then your piece should look like this. Okay, then you're going to take your strip that you put your double-sided tape on, and you want to cut these about 1/8 inch shorter than your chipboard strips. So usually I just mark them. And then you'll want 2 for the top and bottom of the same size, and then 1 for the front. Usually I get mine, I just kind of rub on my double-sided tape, and then I bend my score line. Then take your double-sided backing off. I just put a little glue on these strips that don't have any double-sided tape. And this is where your scoreboard kind of comes in handy. If you stick it in there and then stick this, whoops, right up in there. And take your bone folder. You can get it nice and tight. And you'll just want to, you know, rub it down real good so it gets a really good hold. Then you'll want to do the same thing on this side. Take off your backing, add some glue, use your scoreboard if you want to, so you get a nice square edge. Then you want to stick it down. And just really rub it down so you get a nice tight hold. Now you're going to want to do the same thing on your last flap. So you want to take your double-sided tape backing off, put a little glue, and I'm going to use my scoreboard again, get it nice and tight. Get it nice and tight in there. Rub it down so it adheres good. I'm going to do that to both sides. And then I'm going to take these little strips and I'm going to put them on and make sure, and I'm going to make one on the inside for each side. And then I will ink all around it, and then we'll be back for step 2.